Falun Gong. Falun Gong was born in the 1990s as a blend of meditation and faith in spiritual purity. Within a few years, it counted tens of millions of followers, gathering quietly in parks across China. In 1999, the government declared it a heretical cult. Thousands were arrested, disappeared, or sent to re-education camps. Aum Shinrikyo. Aum Shinrikyo promised salvation after the end of the world. Its leader, Shoko Asahara, claimed to be Christ reborn and preached that only his followers would survive an approaching apocalypse. In 1995, members carried out a deadly gas attack in the Tokyo subway, shocking an entire nation. The group was banned and its founder executed, remembered as one of the darkest cults in modern history. Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witnesses were banned in Russia in 2017 after being labeled an extremist organization. Authorities raided homes, seized Bibles, and imprisoned believers simply for meeting in private. The government claimed they threatened social order, but followers say they were punished for refusing violence and loyalty to the state. Ahmadiyya. Ahmadiyya Islam was declared non-Muslim by law in Pakistan in 1984. Followers believe in a prophet after Muhammad, a claim forbidden under state religion. They cannot call their mosques or use Islamic greetings. Many have been jailed or attacked simply for practicing a peaceful faith in public. Bahá'í Faith. The Bahá'í Faith teaches unity among all religions and equality between peoples. In Iran, where it was founded, the government considers it heresy. Since 1979, Bahá'í schools have been closed, cemeteries destroyed, and leaders imprisoned. Believers still meet in secret. Babism. The Babi movement emerged in Persia in 1848, led by a man known as the Bab, who claimed to reveal a new divine message. Clerics saw his teachings as blasphemy and a threat to Islamic authority. Within a few years, the faith was outlawed, its followers massacred, and the Bab himself executed by firing squad. Yazidism. Yazidism blends ancient Mesopotamian beliefs with devotion to Melek Taus, the peacock angel. For centuries, outsiders mistook their angel for the devil and used the slur to justify attacks. In 2014, ISIS declared Yazidis heretics, banning worship and committing mass killings. Christianity. Christianity reached Japan through missionaries in the 1500s, spreading quietly among samurai and peasants alike. As foreign influence grew, the shogunate saw the faith as a threat to order. In 1614, it was outlawed, churches were burned, and believers were forced to trample on images of Christ or face death. Catharism. Catharism spread through southern France in the 11th century, preaching purity and rejecting the wealth of the church. To the Vatican, their belief that the world was ruled by two opposing forces was heresy. The Pope launched a crusade that wiped them out. Whole towns burned in the name of faith. Templars. The Knights Templar began as protectors of pilgrims in the Holy Land, but grew into one of the richest orders in Europe. Their secret rituals and power drew suspicion from kings and popes. In 1312, they were accused of heresy, tortured into confessions, and executed as their order was destroyed. Manichaeism. Manichaeism emerged in the 3rd century, teaching that light and darkness were locked in an endless cosmic battle. Its prophet Mani claimed to unite all faiths, angering both Roman emperors and Persian kings. Declared heresy by both empires, his followers were hunted down, and their scriptures were burned across continents. Paganism. Paganism once ruled the Roman world with temples, sacrifices, and festivals to many gods. When Christianity became the empire's faith, pagan worship was outlawed by decree. Altars were smashed, statues defaced, and ancient rituals driven underground as Rome tried to erase the gods it once served. Druidism. Druidism thrived among the ancient Celts, where priests led sacrifices and rituals in sacred forests. To the Romans, their influence over tribes was a political danger. Emperor Claudius banned Druidic practices, destroyed their groves, and ordered executions, turning a tradition into legend. Bogomilism. Bogomilism arose in the Balkans around the 10th century, preaching that the world was ruled by both God and the devil. It condemned church wealth and rejected priests and icons, spreading fast among peasants. The Byzantine Empire outlawed the movement, burning its texts and executing its followers as dangerous heretics. Waldensians. The Waldensians began in the 12th century, led by merchants who preached poverty and scripture in local languages. They rejected the authority of the Catholic clergy and refused to worship in ornate churches. Branded heretics, they were excommunicated, hunted through the Alps, and slaughtered for defying Rome's control. Judaism. Judaism in Spain faced expulsion and extinction under the Catholic monarchs. In 1492, the Edict of Expulsion ordered all Jews to convert or leave the kingdom. Synagogues were seized, sacred books burned, and families forced into exile. Those who stayed and practiced in secret risked torture and death at the hands of the Inquisition. Islam. Islam once flourished in medieval Spain under the rule of Al-Andalus, leaving cities filled with mosques and scholars. When Christian kingdoms reconquered the land, the faith was outlawed. By the early 1500s, Muslims were forced to convert or flee, and those who prayed in secret faced prison or execution. Witchcraft. Witchcraft and folk paganism blended ancient nature rites with healing charms and seasonal rituals. As Christianity spread, these practices were branded as dealings with the devil. From the 15th to 17th centuries, thousands were tried, tortured, and executed across Europe for following the old ways. Ghost dance. Ghost dance arose among Native American tribes in the late 1800s, promising that ancestors would return and the invaders would disappear. Its peaceful ceremonies terrified U.S. authorities, who feared a rebellion. The ritual was banned, and soon after, soldiers opened fire at Wounded Knee, ending the movement in blood. Sun Dance. The Sun Dance was one of the most sacred ceremonies of the Plains tribes, symbolizing renewal and sacrifice. Colonial governments saw its rituals of piercing and trance as savage and dangerous. By the late 1800s, the dance was outlawed across North America, forcing generations to worship in secret. Aztec Religion. The Aztec religion filled the great temples of Tenochtitlan with music, blood, and smoke, honoring gods of sun and war. When the Spanish arrived, they saw the sacrifices as barbaric and destroyed every shrine. Priests were executed, idols smashed, and a faith that ruled an empire was buried under conquest. Inca Religion. The Inca religion worshipped the sun as the source of all life and power, ruled by priests from the grand temples of Cusco. After the Spanish conquest, its rituals were condemned as pagan idolatry. Golden idols were melted down, sacred sites turned into cathedrals, and those who prayed to the sun punished by the crown. Andean and Mesoamerican paganism. Across the Americas, Andean and Mesoamerican paganism wove together gods of rain, corn, and mountains. After conquest, Spanish missionaries led campaigns of idol destruction, smashing sacred statues and burning temples. Traditional worship was banned, yet fragments of those ancient beliefs still survive in local festivals and secret family rituals. African traditional religions. Across colonial Africa, countless traditional religions honored ancestors and spirits through drums, dance, and ritual sacrifice. European powers labeled these ceremonies witchcraft and passed laws to erase them. Priests were jailed, sacred objects seized, and many beliefs were forced to hide beneath a thin layer of Christianity. Caodaism. Caodaism emerged in Vietnam in the 1920s, blending Buddhism, Christianity, and Confucianism into one universal faith. It preached harmony between all religions, but after 1975, the communist government banned it as a threat to state ideology. Temples were closed, leaders imprisoned, and only a state-controlled version was later allowed to return. Hoa Hao. Hoa Hao. Buddhism began in southern Vietnam in the 1930s, offering a simple, rural form of faith that rejected temple hierarchy. After the communist victory in 1975, independent Hoa Hao groups were banned and their gatherings broken up. Only a government-approved version survived, while true followers continued to pray in secret homes. From ancient temples to secret rooms, every banned religion left behind the same truth. People will risk everything to believe. Dozens of faiths have been erased from history, but the idea of worship itself has never been silenced.